Hi, welcome in or welcome back to my channel. My name is Deb from DG Reads, and it's time for a vlog celebrating my birthday. Okay, this vlog is just a little bit of fun with the fact that I have a couple of books on my TBR specifically about aging, retirement, kind of like along those lines, because it's my birthday and they're all kind of in the spooky zone. So it seemed perfect. It seemed like the publishing world was saying, happy birthday, you're one step closer to retirement, even though that's still quite a ways off. So it struck me that it was the perfect thing to just kind of do a quick little reading vlog around to celebrate. By the time you're seeing this, it will have just been my birthday, and my birthday's on a Tuesday night. We're not getting up to anything too crazy for that, so let's celebrate with reading. I do have a little bit of a TBR picked out for this one. I'm excited to dive into it. I'm actually really thrilled with all three books that I'm going to pick up and excited to read them, so I hope this goes well. I'm not going to give you much in the way of a synopsis with this, just because I kind of want to go into them relatively blind, but I've got the Autumn Springs Retirement Home Massacre by Philip Fracassi. This is an author I didn't 100% gel with the one other time I tried him, but this one has called to me since I first heard the title. I have a gifted audiobook for this one from Macmillan Audio, and I received this copy as well. So I think I'm actually going to start with this one. I'm planning to buddy read this with a couple of friends and looking forward to it. All I know about this one is what the title says. We Spread by Ian Reid. This is one that I went looking to kind of add one more book in. I had two for sure in mind, and this is one that's been on my radar that I definitely want to read and pick up, but I didn't realize it had to do with a retirement home. So we are following a main character after she moves into what sounds like a very unique retirement community, very small retirement community. I don't know, I will find out. And last but certainly not least, I have The Sundowners Dance by Todd Keisling. This is a book that hadn't necessarily been on my radar, but I received it in a Nightworm subscription delivery, and this plus The Retirement Home Massacre both put in mind creepy old retirement communities. So that is how this vlog came about, and I'm excited to read this one. I really haven't heard much about it other than we have an older character who's moving into a retirement community, kind of independent living retirement community, and things aren't exactly what they appear. So I'm super excited for all of these books. Hopefully they don't scare me off the whole getting older concept, but I will get reading and be back once I have some initial thoughts for you. I am back. We are having this really strange phenomenon today. It's this thing where water falls from the sky. Some of you might call it rain or weather. We don't really get that here in Southern California, so this day is off to a weird start already. I'm a little bit afraid for my commute home tonight, but that's okay because I will have a book to keep me company. I am now halfway into the Autumn Springs Retirement Home Massacre, and I'm actually having a fantastic time with this one. As I mentioned, I'm pretty sure before, this is an author that I didn't really gel with his last book that I read, but this one is working so much better. We are following Ruby for the most part, and she is this 80-ish, I think she is, year-old woman. She's spunky, she has a good brain, she has a good heart, she has people she cares about out in the world, but also she wants her independence, and she's living in this retirement community that allows her that has different stages. She can be kind of in her own independent apartment, but also have people around her, also have support she can call in if needed. So far, it's sounding like not a horrible place, like a place, you know, I might want to live someday when I do retire and need a little bit less of a house of my own. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. The way this book starts, we switch POVs to another woman's POV, and she's laying in bed, and then she hears a noise, and there's not supposed to be anyone in her apartment, but she hears something coming from the next room basically, and then she sees a shadow at the door, and then someone comes after her, and it doesn't end well for her. But this being a retirement community, they're kind of used to elderly residents passing away, and things kind of get brushed over as being an accident. Things are maybe staged potentially, but our elderly characters don't really believe things happen the way that people are telling them, and they're looking into it further. And the way the killer in here is approaching things is very creative. It's not just a slasher come in, brutally kill. It's more of a thought out meticulous approach to getting at some of these people and making things look somewhat fit the concept of this elderly population. And I'm really enjoying it. It started off super, super strong. I was really hooked from the very beginning. It does slow down quite a bit. It's very slice of life in between things actually happening and us getting kind of the victim POVs. She's living her life. She's dealing with her family. She's dealing with a potential kind of romance with a fellow resident, and also now investigating the death of her friend. And I am actually really enjoying it. So I wouldn't come into this one expecting a fast-paced slasher type retirement home massacre, but I think it's going really well for me, honestly. I'm kind of hoping the pace picks up a little bit more in the second half, but I'm having such a good time with it. I'm not minding the slower pace either. So I am going to keep going on this one as I get ready for work and head out, and we shall see how the rest of the book proceeds. But I am definitely in my crochet mode again, so putting the audiobook on once I get home from work, I should be able to finish this up tonight, I think, and then I will report back in. I'm back because I have finished my first book and I had such a good time with this one. It was very approachable. It was fantastic characters. I absolutely loved Rose and her determination to both be a good friend to the people around her, to be a good grandmother, to look after her family. We get to know more of her backstory as the story goes along, and she's just a very fierce person. And there are definitely trigger warnings in here beyond just, murdering old people. So I would look those up. They are slightly spoilery, I would think. But I just really loved following her POV. I think the kind of massacre elements, the deaths in here are well thought out. They're creative. The person committing these crimes is really putting their knowledge to use of the people they're targeting, what their weaknesses are, how to bring things about to make it creative, to make things look maybe more natural, at least initially. And I think it was a lot of fun. My only holdup in it is it does slow down in the middle. It's very slice of life between the incidents. And I may have already even said that, but it does continue that way until you get to like the last third or so of the book. And then the pace really, really picks up. And there's a detective character who gets involved who I liked as well. There's Rose's kind of maybe boyfriend that's involved, and I liked him as well. There's some kind of hints as to who the killer might be, which I felt like was a little too obvious for it to wind up playing out to be that person. But I think overall it was done well. It made sense, the ending of it, even as obviously it's a massacre type book, so things are a bit over the top. But I really, really had a great time with it. This is starting this vlog off with a 4.5 star book, and I really am happy this was such a win because I was so excited for this one. And it shows that this is an author I can really enjoy, even though the more historical book that I read last time did not hit for me. So I'm very excited for that. So with that done, I will go ahead and move on, and I'll be back when I have thought for a new read. I've started my next book for my birthday aging, whatever I'm calling this vlog, and that is The Sundowner's Dance by Todd Keisling. This is one that I received from my Nightworm subscription, and that's one I always do enjoy. Got a sticker, which I'm assuming came with the package, and we've got a fun little creepy little pamphlet for the Fairview Acres Community Association, a friendly senior living community, Fairview, Scranton, Stroudsburg. On the back it says, Fairview Acres is a retirement community offering independent living, personal care, memory support, skilled nursing care, and rehab to home. The Fairview Acres Community Association is committed to being the provider of choice for superior senior living in the Poconos region. This is a little fun edition. I'm assuming the publisher put this together, but this is the pamphlet that our main character was given and convinced him to go ahead and buy here. Jerry is a senior man. He has relatively recently lost his wife after going through kind of a long process with her with illness, and he's looking to relocate someplace new, someplace without the memories attached to it. And he finds this community. It's everyone in their own house. It's everyone kind of having their own space, but they're all kind of in the same walk of life. Except after he moves in, things seem weird. He doesn't see any of his neighbors out during the day. They use weird catchphrases. They party at night regularly and loudly. They have a monthly moon related festival where weird things happen. And more weird things continue to happen, and he's trying to figure out what's going on. He does kind of make a friend in this community, but even she isn't giving him necessarily straight answers. And maybe there's reasons for that, maybe there aren't. We don't know exactly what's going on, but I am so hooked on this one. I started this one this morning when I went to go out and about to run some errands, visit with my dad, and so forth, and I couldn't wait to turn it back on as soon as I got back in the car to keep listening to it, because I did pick up the audiobook from the library. And it's weird. It has me theorizing, and then it takes an abrupt turn and it does something else, and my theories start shifting. It has me laughing in a few places. I like our main character and kind of his snarky comments that come in here or there. It's not, I wouldn't say, meant to be overly humorous, but there are just moments where he's like, what the heck is going on? And just trying to absorb what he's seeing, what he's witnessing, and come up with a rational explanation. I suspect there's probably not a rational explanation. I'm guessing that's where this is headed, but I don't know for sure. So I wound up exactly halfway through. So about 150, 60 pages, something like that, I think. So I'm eager to get back into this, keep going. This is going well, and I'll let you know my final thoughts when I get there. I'm back because I finished up the Sundowner's Dance, and this was a really good time. I said in the last clip, I think, that I didn't think this was going towards the direction of a rational explanation. And in some ways there kind of is. It's a rational explanation in terms of the book, at least. I really like the way our main character develops relationships with a couple of people, like his bit of sanity in this really not sane environment that he's living in. And the reveals we get, there are definitely some creepy horror, body horror in particular, moments going on in here. I think it has an interesting take on how this little community exists in the wider span of the world and how the world kind of supports this community in some ways. And it gets a little bit heavy at the end. It gets sad at the end, and I was not expecting that, so do be aware of that. Being that we're dealing with an older population, I don't think it's spoilery to say that older people have health issues and have pain and have dementia and things like that. So those are topics going on in here, and with that, it did bring a little bit of a heavier tone to the end of the book, where it definitely felt much lighter, I would say, at the beginning, even though we are still dealing with grief and things like that at the beginning as well. But there are kind of lighter moments. Like I mentioned, there were a few places where I was just laughing because bizarre things are happening and the characters acknowledging that this is really bizarre. So I'm landing on a 4-star with this one. This is not a book that had been on my radar prior to getting it in a Nightworm subscription, so I'm really glad for that. About half the time they send things that I'm really excited for that I know. Oftentimes things I already tried to get an arc for or even already read, but a lot of the times they send things that are completely new to me, and I really like that mix that I get from them. I'm not sponsored by them. I don't get any referral kickbacks, just letting you know. I do enjoy that as a horror subscription if you're interested, check it out. But with that, I did start my next book. We Spread by Ian Reid is one that's been on my radar for a while. I know it made it onto my list when I saw Kayla at Books and Lala really talk about this and hype it up, and it's been one that I've wanted to pick up without really remembering what it was about. And then I was randomly looking at it because the audiobook hold came in from my library, and I had to suspend it for a while, but I looked at the synopsis and it's about a retirement home basically. And I'm like, okay, perfect. We're going to pick that up for my vlog. So this is following Penny, and she had a long-term life partner who passed away. She's been managing on her own, but there have been a few incidents that have had people worried about her, and she comes to find out that her husband left her basically a spot in a retirement community or retirement home, a very small, exclusive one, and that people feel she needs to be there for safety's sake. Initially, she's very hesitant for this. She's always had her own place. She's always managed for herself, but they get good food. They get good rest. They get to practice their hobbies. They get to know other people. And suddenly she's thinking maybe this isn't so bad. But there's a very small number of people here. Most of them have been there for quite a while. She's just starting to kind of feel them out, figure out who they are, figure out the person in charge. But things are just a little bit off. And she is losing days. She's losing time, I guess you would say. She's a little bit fuzzy on what's going on, but it seems like something is just not quite right. And I love that kind of feeling of unsettling, where on the one hand, she's getting time to paint again, and people are appreciating her art, and other people have their hobbies that they really are interested in. But I don't trust this place, and I don't think I'm meant to trust this place at this point. So I'm about 40% of the way through this one. It's pretty short. It's only like a 6-hour audio, and I'm so intrigued to see where this is going to wind up, where it's going to go. I'm assuming it's going weird places, but I don't know. We'll see. I will check back in with you once I get to the end of this one. I have now finished We Spread, and I had a great time with this. It's such a quick read. It goes really fast, and there is so much going on in terms of our characters being developed, mainly our main character Penny, but also thoughts about the aging process, who can be trusted, the issues with memory that older people can face, and that's something that definitely speaks to me, as my grandfather did go through Alzheimer's, and I've had a lot of, health issues in my family with the older generation and everything this year. There's a lot about this book that will break your heart. There's a lot about it that's just unsettling and Kylie just run in and creepy and the like. It's one of those books where everything seems kind of fine, but there's something going on. But is there even really something going on? Do you know that there's really something going on? Or could it be Penny and her memory issues and her perception of the world? It's a time when an unreliable narrator really packs a punch in the story. And I think the author did that so well here, and making us question things right up to the end. The book ended and I'm like, wait, what just happened? Did this happen? Did this happen? And in a way where if you're the type of reader who needs concrete answers for everything, this is not a book I'm going to recommend to you, but in a way where I like the fact that it had me thinking, it had me kind of contemplating what different things could mean. And I don't know, this is one gut reaction. I gave it a 4 when I ended. I've upped it to 4.5, and I feel like it's one that could keep working my brain and could eventually wind its way up to a 5, but we'll see. For now, that's where I'm leaving it. I think it did the concept really well. It definitely fit with my theme here. And with that, I am going to go ahead and wrap up this vlog. I had a lot of fun reading these books, and who knew that retirement and aging were such a hit area for me in horror. I think now I know what to look for someday, eventually, in the distant future, when I go to retire, what to look for or what to look to make sure there isn't in a retirement community, and definitely have some ideas there. So let me know if you've read any of these books. Do you have any others you would recommend to me that kind of fall into a similar vein? Let me know all the things. And if you've made it this far and you don't have anything to comment, leave me an older person emoji. Old woman, old man, whatever it may be. Unfortunately, there's not a little old lady Kylie emoji, but come up with something along those lines to let me know you were here. If you could hit that like button below, I'd surely appreciate it, and subscribe if you're interested in more of my themed reading vlogs, more of my book reviews, and more of my bookish content in general. But for now, I'll leave you here and see you real soon in a new video.